All right, so this is another video conversing with new person here, MR.PONY, and Sidra Owens is in the background rapping presents. And if she hears anything she wants to chime in on, she's obviously going to let me know and come over here and whatnot. Now, MR.PONY is new, just like a while ago introducing who will not be up here anymore, Green Cat Girl, or as I call her, GCG. So MR.PONY is someone that is a promoter for his own electronic federation, and I think it's in rebuilding at this moment. I think. Am I correct, MR.PONY?
Yes.
All right.
It is in rebuilding.
So now, for this, we will not really be talking about the eFed. However, on Discord, he and Conquering Thought was having a conversation back and forth, and I was reading it, and I'm sort of like, I don't know, I could tell that both were talking past each other. Not, and I don't know what either was thinking here and there, but I could tell that things weren't being touched. And I was seeing it as a learning experience being lost on both sides. And that's the one thing I love about Discord is when conversations happen, you can definitely learn different perspectives or give a certain perspective. So both sides can learn, both sides can grow, and what I enjoyed most about the conversation is not one side was saying, you need to listen to me and me only. So I was very proud about that. Most Discords break down really quick and it turns tribal instantly. Now, comparative reasoning, mostly progressive when it comes to anyone that's going to talk. And MR.PONY, from conversations not up here, seems like he's more, I don't know, center, like really center, not thoroughly Republican or Democrat, just in the center. So, and a lot of people find that annoying or wrong, but honestly, it's one of the kind of the best spots to be, because someone that's in the middle holding no allegiance to either side, that's when you're able to just listen and make a better choice than someone who's partisan and saying never this other side. So would I be labeling you right in that, MR.PONY?
Yes.
Okay, so I wanted to make sure I was reading everything properly from our conversations and what I was reading on Discord. And Discord is what I am going to be speaking from the conversation, because there were things I was curious about, but there's no way to really get the full-on answers and converse properly on Discord, not unless you want to go through a 520-line essay every single time. I don't think that no one's going to be interested in that.
I don't think Discord has the word limit for that.
You can just do how Trump does and just, get done with that and then put it on the next one and put that. I think Discord has a 200 character limit, I think, or 2,000 character limit.
2,000.
2,000 character. Yeah, I ran out of space on one of them. It ticked me off because I hit enter and all my stuff was gone. And I should have copied it and pasted in Word instead of just blindly going with it. So, and all this started with 00. He says, and it started with Trump is impeached. Am I dreaming? With no question mark. Just it's declarative. So I don't know how to read that. I don't know how to read a question declaratively. Do you, MR.PONY? Do you know how to do that?
Well, it depends on how I decide to read it in my head. If it feels like, am I doing something right? It's like, yeah, I can see that as a question.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I know it's a question, but he didn't put the question mark at the end. It's like somebody asking you, how are you, in chat, but they use an exclamation point instead of a question mark. How do you read that? You just scream, and then someone answers, and you say, shut up, I didn't ask you anything. I was just telling you with excitement how are you? I don't know. Punctuations are fundamental. That's the learning thing right there. Punctuations are fundamental. I'm so
Yep.
throwing him under a bus. Okay, that was just my small comedy bit. Okay, so what you wrote was, and trust me, everyone, I am not using this as in, oh, I got you, or I'm going to hold your words against you. No, I am using this as a learning experiment to have a conversation that I think wasn't had. So you wrote, I want to call it a nightmare because either the same thing will happen to a Democrat or this will piss off Trump voters so much they'll rally for a landslide Republican victory. And when you wrote that, I was like, huh. You know, him being impeached, just means, for anyone that doesn't understand, impeached means he goes to trial. Everyone all was thinking for the past year and a half, impeach means pushed out of office. No, it just means you finally go on trial. So if you want, that's just the political version of it. Other than that, if you are arrested by the cops and you got to go to the judge and all this other stuff, you have been impeached. And you're going to go on trial for your sentencing. That's how that goes.
Yep.
So the impeachment is happening, and you said that it's a nightmare because the same thing could happen to the Democrats. Okay, I want to go with that part first. I'd like to say
What?
Trump being impeached, that means it can happen to Democrats. I think that's a good idea. Because if you break the law and you abuse your power and other stuff, I don't think it should matter what side of the aisle you're on. You are wrong, you're not above the law, and you will get impeached, go on trial, and can be possibly either, convicted, or, hey, find that there's nothing there and you get to go. You keep serving your term. Well, what do you think about that?
Honestly, I looked around and the only thing I saw was abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. In both of those cases, it should have been sent to the judicial system. Wait, the judicial branch.
I guess it should. See, I honestly, I wish I knew that much, and that might turn most listeners off. There's things that I don't know, because people come to YouTube and stuff. They listen. They want answers. They want to be led. They don't want to just listen and then say, "Hey, he don't know. Let me find out," and then put in the comment section what it really is. Doing a Cozier search, it helps, and I can't do one right now in real time when this came up. So, the judicial branch is usually for public things that come up, and they are also supposed to be 1/3, of our government, and that's to offset things.
Plus, there's this
Yes.
See, she's gonna talk from over there.
I want you to repeat it.
Okay, what you want me to repeat?
They keep saying you can't indict a sitting president. So in order to put him through the judicial system, they have to indict him for something, and they don't want to do that.
Okay, were you able to hear that, Mr. Pony?
No.
Okay. Repeat that a little bit, Sidra, a little bit, because you just said a whole bunch of shit, and
Screaming that you can't indict a sitting president.
Republicans keep screaming that you cannot indict a sitting president.
But you have to indict somebody to put him through the judicial
Well, you
system.
can.
But you have to indict somebody to put them through the judicial system.
They can, but they won't.
They can, but they won't. All right, that's what she's saying, and that's true. The thing is, they keep saying you can't indict a sitting president. That is false. It is absolute in falsehood. That's a lie. They said that so the public can get angry and then say, no, you can't do it. It's wrong. For the Trump supporters can do that. And then public opinion can push people in the Senate and whatnot to say, no, we're not going to impeach him because the people don't want it. And that's how that's supposed to work. But that would also be breaking the rules.
And it also helps that Trump, according to some people, is the first sitting president to be impeached with without really having any actual crime, any statutory crimes.
Some people say that, but those people are wrong. See, it doesn't matter what public opinion is. It don't really matter. That's the CNN approach, what they do.
No, it actually came from a few leftists. This actually came from people like me.
Trump, you can impeach anyone that's president at any given time that they break the law. And Trump has broken multiple laws. The problem is Democrats and Republicans can only try to impeach him on the things that they haven't done themselves, because then if they do, all Trump and his team has to do is say, these guys have done these same things. If I go, they must all go. That exposes the business, wrestling terminology, and that is what will jack people's brains up, and they won't know what or who to support. That's what happens with that. And that's why when what you said was, because this could happen to Democrats too, it should. It should be able to impeach someone, should be able to impeach either side. It shouldn't be tribal, it shouldn't be partisan, it should be just and unjust. And that's it. That's how I think it should be. Just and unjust. Because then if it turns tribal, if it turns partisan, then that means whoever says what gets what. And that means you can break the law based on public opinion and or public support. That's what that says to me.
This disaster of the impeachment trial, yeah, it was tribal.
What was the next part? They'll piss off Trump supporters and they'll landslide Republican victory. Honestly, that's very much a possibility. But the truth is, it doesn't take this. It doesn't take the impeachment to get that to happen. What it takes to get that to happen would happen anyway, and that is for his election term to be in question. Okay, he's done this 4 years. It's time to see who else. So that's what this right now, Democrats running for presidency, or any Republican running for presidency, that's going to get the Trump supporters. Note there's a difference between Trump supporters and Republican supporters. Note there's a difference in that. And so they're going to come out in mass and say to the Republicans, you're trying to overthrow Trump, so we're not going to support you when it comes to re-electing you for the Senate or Congress of any form, or any kind of government position, mayor or whatever it is. And that's why they don't come out so negative against Trump. And the Democrats going to run anyway. That's just nature. That's just political nature. Hey, Republicans are up. It's time. Now their time is up. Now we can run and see if we can get it from them. That's just how that rolls. And so they're going to say the Democrats are trying to remove Trump, which is like a no shit right there. It wouldn't matter if it was Trump or not. And so people aren't thinking about stuff like that. This is just nature,
Honestly, the big thing that confused me about all this is where they decided to start it. They started near election season.
Yep.
It's as if they want to have the impeachment in January, start the Senate hearings in January, so that way they can take out some of the presidential contenders.
Yep. Right now, see, I learned this listening to Benjamin Dixon and Cenk Uygur. And I was like, oh, well, that's possible. That's a good idea. If you're a Republican, that's a great idea, because if you could push it so it happens in January and February, then that means the top runners in the Democratic Party have to come off the campaign trail. That means their buzz goes down, and they got to work in the Senate. They got to work on this crap. They can't keep the people live, So, the awareness of them goes down in the tubes. And they can push for someone else to take to run that's going to definitely lose to Trump. So that would be that whole plan. Very simple, and I think it would work well for the Republicans anyway.
Well, considering the fact that one of the articles of the impeachment is that Trump must be able to defend himself and the right to see his accuser, like with everyone else, it might end up possibly leading to a Democrat victory in the form of Pete Buttigieg.
If Buttigieg wins, we're fucked. We're so fucked. I mean,
We're fucked no matter who we get.
The only one that I can see that will not fuck us thoroughly would be Bernie Sanders. He's at least, his policy all positive. Buttigieg has at one point flip-flop, then he just said outright, screw all y'all, I'm doing it for the money.
Well, there is Yang.
Yeah, Yang is so pro-capitalism, and then he's like, hey y'all, I got this thing, UBI, and we'll just throw $1,000 extra at you a month. And I'm like, that's just...
Yeah, but at least he hasn't flip-flopped. He was saying the same thing.
He has not flip-flopped, except, the Medicare for all thing. He's not exactly like that.
Yeah, he never was.
Never was. And people need health care. So that's why Yang don't get, too much anything from me. And to say $1,000 is going to fix things, no, it's not. $1,000 a month, and then that's going to be taxed. So that $1,000 really equates to $606. So really $606 a month. That'll help a little bit here and there, and it's about it. But it doesn't solve. I don't want things to help. I want things solved. But this isn't about Andrew Yang. This isn't about Andrew Yang. I got my issues with him, but this isn't about Andrew Yang. I'm going on Mr. Pony's conversation that he had on Discord, and that's what I want to talk about. Can we do that, peoples?
Hopefully.
Let's see. I'm trying to use his YouTube name. Conquering Thought was like, why is it a nightmare? And you said, it's just a lack of concrete evidence. The Senate and the roaring economy is just going to hurt the Democrats in the long run. Or had Al Gore won in 2000, would have been the Bill Clinton effect. And that kind of, me and Sidra was like, what? We literally was like, word salad, what? So.
I didn't make an edit on that in 2000.
Okay. We'll get to that one. We'll get to that.
I apologize for that one.
Let's see. It's just, okay, it's a lack of concrete evidence. Donald Trump has done so much. In truth, an honest Senate that's not scared of getting busted on their misdeeds. If they were honest and Trump was doing all this stuff, they could have nailed him on so much. In general, lying to the public.
I actually think it's just him being stupid.
Now, you say that. That is enough to get him pushed out, just being an idiot.
Then that would mean every single president ever. Every single congressperson ever.
Donald Trump is dumber than most people. He really is.
I've seen dumber.
Yeah.
Have you seen North Korea?
Donald Trump wants to be North Korea. He loves tyrants. He loves dictators. He wants people to bow down to him, be loyal to him, and he gives nothing in return. That's what he wants. Loyalty and obedience. And when they don't give it to him, he don't turn on them because he was never on their side. He just throws them under a bus, lights them with fire, and moves on.
So a typical classic New York Democrat.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Which is basically what he is, actually.
And that's why we got what we got. Donald Trump then he broke the emoluments clause. He never stopped. You're not allowed to make money off of anything outside of just whatever the government pays you. And he's kept his businesses and then says my children are in charge of it, but you're still making money off of it. Then they go to Trump's. He never got rid of his little golf courses, Mar-a-Lago, where people go and they pay these absorbent prices for rooms, never really stay there. That means they give him money and then Trump does stuff for them. You know, that's not a verbal outright quid pro quo, but it keeps happening.
Why do his children have security clearance?
His children
Yeah.
have security clearance. They know nothing of government. They're not the president. They're not in the Senate. They're not in the judicial area. None of that stuff, but they've got security clearance. That makes no sense. None. And
But like you said, these are some of the things that these senators and the representatives also do.
And that's the thing, representatives. Man, you know what? Nope, that's separate. I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'm gonna do that a separate thing. That's separate because representatives. In short, representatives. Do they represent? Yes. Who? Not you. That's it.
Sometimes.
When you name me two times where representatives represent the common person.
I'm going to have fire come out of my mouth, but Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is one of them.
She tries.
She does great Twitter burns and she calls people out for their misdoings and misdeeds in the Senate. Now, what has she done?
That's a damn sight more than anybody.
I mean,
That-
she proposed
yes,
the Green
Sidra.
New Deal.
Sidra, you're right. She said that's a damn sight more than anyone else. Yes.
It doesn't amount to anything for us.
Yeah, it don't amount to that's what I'm talking about. What has been physically done for the little people?
That's the thing. We don't get to see it because it's always orange man bad. I mean, they not only sent money to Afghanistan again, but Trump has been bringing in judges, including one that has never stepped foot in a courtroom.
That's something else he broke. Donald Trump helped pack him and Mitch McConnell helped pack the judicial system of deep pocketed Republicans. The Senate is predominant deep pocketed Republicans. Donald Trump being president, he's got the executive office. So you got all three branches of the government outright Republican. Therefore, that's
Well,
why
technically 2.5.
that's what?
Well, technically 2.5.
Oh yeah. Yeah, not a full third. 2.5. Yet that's how you protect yourself. He's packed all these lower courts with Republicans. He's protecting himself. You build a wall around yourself and no one can touch you, and then you can do whatever you want because they can't get to you. And that's what Trump was trying to do, and he's evaded impeachment. The Democrats and their supporters, the supporters of Democrats say impeach him. The Democrats say no. People go, why? And then the Democrats say Republicans are blocking us. And then the supporters say Republicans are bad. Republicans are like, we want him impeached. We've got our issues. The Democrats say you lie. And it's like, wait, we're publicly saying fuck Trump and you're saying we're lying? What the fuck is wrong with you? Therefore, Democrats look stupid. That's, oh my God, people help. You got to think, people. Got to think. You know, you can't sit there.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure the whole reason why they even went after Trump is because he went after Biden.
No, that's not. What happened is they was trying to say, look, we want to impeach him because if we don't impeach him, these people are going to turn on us and go and vote. The establishment was like, if we do not impeach him, our supporters are going to go straight up progressive only people. So they were pressured. Either you impeach this fool now, or we will not vote for you. So it was like, crap, what can we get him on? And the whole Ukraine thing, I'm gonna get to that in a moment. I'm not gonna skip this. I gotta do this in order. I gotta do this. Okay, so we went with that. You said the roaring economy. I'm trying to figure out what you meant by the roaring economy.
The economy is just getting better.
How?
The stock markets are rising.
Stop. What does?
Unemployment's
Okay. What does stock markets got to do with everybody else?
well, when the stock markets rise, businesses have more capital. And when businesses have more capital, they have more money to spread.
To who?
And when they're investing in America, then Americans are getting more jobs.
But they're not.
Okay, that's your belief, and I understand that. So now I got to ask you something. The stock markets go up, businesses get more money, but they keep sending jobs down to Mexico and over to India and China.
They're not raising pay.
And they still fight against $15 an hour, which to me is too damn small.
I mean, I can go for $15 an hour, just not the rapid pace they want to go for on a national scale.
I think everyone should get $22 to $25 an hour.
I mean, considering the fact we have a culture of tipping, it might be lower for the restaurant people because, you know, tip. But we also need to worry about automation.
Why?
Because what if a lot of robots, what if a business decides, maybe instead of paying $22 an hour, let's just buy 15 robots.
Well, what about they stop paying the CEOs on this goddamn?
Hey, woman, if you're gonna be a peanut gallery, you can just, cause you know, you need to come over here and talk or something.
But I'm making the point that you would make.
Yeah, but goddamn, you're over there, no one can hear you.
Then say what I just said.
What the
Who,
fuck?
me?
Okay.
I thought I was hearing clearly.
She said if the CEOs, what'd you say, woman?
Stop paying the
If they would stop paying the CEOs so much goddamn money, which is true. CEOs are making millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, while everyone is getting $7.75 an hour or getting laid off. And I mean, I'm trying to understand your logic on this, you know, because automation can kill jobs. It can. There's a lot of things that automation cannot do. And automation, to me, I would love to see way more automation. And that might turn some people off, but I would like for a great deal of things to be automation. I really would. Because here's the thing. The reason people don't like automation is because they say, with automation, you don't have that job, you don't have money, you can't pay your bills, you can't buy what you want to buy, you can't feed your family, so on, so on, so on. And what that truly says is, we don't want automation because we need capitalism, because without money we've got nothing. Instead of people saying, let's just get rid of abusive and outright capitalism and find a mixture of a different form of earnings or credits or something so that we can get the things that we want.
Well, I think that we shouldn't have automation. Wait. Hold on. How about we finish the impeachment stuff first?
Okay. Trump and Ukraine. Trump literally, hey, you want your stuff? Hey, look into Biden. I want you to look into Biden for me. That's what he wanted. They looked into Biden and he said, good, now you can get your money. I'm going to keep your money until you do this for me. They did it. They got their stuff back. So that's quid pro quo.
Wait. I heard on the news that even from the Ukrainian president, they never asked for anything.
You heard on the news. I've been saying this since high school. If what you heard was true, then
I heard on the news, on the transcript, they didn't ask for anything.
They don't have a transcript.
I thought they released the transcript.
Nope. They got a redacted version of the transcript.
Huh. That's weird.
And what news?
that the Ukrainian president said that he did not say anything about. They did not hear anything about bribery and all.
What news did you hear that from?
Yeah, a few sources.
Now, if you're ashamed to say what it is,
no, it's less about ashamed to say and more about forgetting.
Okay, that's cool. That's great. Here's the thing. I know for Fox News and some other place, CNN, they were saying that there's nothing there, and they didn't ask. He didn't ask them for anything. There is no. What is this? There is no. If you do this, then there will be a quid pro quo when I do this for you. That's what they're saying. There was no outright and direct message of, if you do this for me, I will do this for you. It was not put out like that. It was more mobster style. And that's what they're trying to play on. It was more mobster style. It's, hey, you don't have anything, but I need this. You want to get this thing back? Do this for me. And they said no. And they said, okay, then you don't get this. They said, we need that. They said, well, just do that for me. All right, we did this. All right, I will give you this. And they'll say, and others say, that's quid pro quo, man. It's like, no, I did not say, if you do this for me, I will get this for you. It was so drawn out that it's not direct, one single message, one line on the phone. It was drawn out. And they're using that. And I'm like, it's clever. It's clever, but the problem is, yeah, there's too many people that overheard it. And in all honesty, Donald Trump didn't have them look into Biden until Biden said, I'm running for president. They could have looked into this. He could have asked this on Biden when he became president. They could have looked into this on Biden and his son when he found out that his son got put into that position and stuff like that. They didn't. No one did. Only after Biden started running for president did they have it happen. And he had like 5 or 6 people listening in on the call.
Well, to be fair, with what Biden is right now, maybe it was more like a mercy thing.
It would be mercy because Biden, look, I'm not going to vote for somebody that spends multiple minutes talking to a wall. I'm not going to vote for somebody that said it's okay for segregation. I'm not going to vote for somebody that worked with the KKK. I'm not going to vote for somebody that doesn't give a damn about the dreamers or immigrants. It's that damn simple. I'm not going to vote for somebody that's not about Medicare for all. I'm not going to vote for someone that is at minimum saying $15 an hour for everyone. So it's just all this stuff that Biden is against. And I'm like, you just don't get my vote, period. The only people that's going to vote for Biden are people just so old they don't know anyone else or don't want to care about anything else. And that's pretty much it.
There's actually another set of voters that could vote for him.
Huh?
There are another set of voters that could vote for him.
Who?
The former Obama voters.
Yeah, because they'll be like, he worked with Obama. Obama was great, so we'll vote for Biden because he worked with Obama, and that's also what he's trying to run on. Get over here, Sidra. Get over here. Uh-huh. Snarky shit. Get on.
I'm trying to talk so I can get back over there. But Obama is not even supporting Biden. That's very telling. Obama has done everything he can to shy away from Biden because Biden is a hot mess of garbage. So any Obama supporter who has a brain, and there are a few out there, will recognize that Obama is not backing his so-called boy, and that will give them pause. So it's going to be far less Obama supporters than you think.
And And also with that, Obama shot himself in the foot. Because not only is he's not supporting Biden, but he said, if Bernie Sanders surge enough in polls, I will start speaking against him. So I'm not going
Which
to.
is actually kind of the whole reason why Trump became the president in the first place. Bernie wasn't running.
Bernie did run.
No, like he wasn't running the actual thing. He got screwed over by Hillary.
Yeah, he and the others got screwed over. Larry Lessig, that was my first time actually doing any political pushing of my own. That was my first time. During the 2016 campaign, I was all about Larry Lessig, and yeah, he was kind of, I just want to get money out of politics, and once money out of politics is gone, then I will step down to somebody else. I'm like, what the fuck? That was dumb, but honestly, it's so damn honorable. People can't even, they can't wrap their brains around it. So to me, I was like, now you really get my vote because I hear the honor. I love it. And he's only going to put someone in place that is at minimum like he is. He said that whoever takes my place has to support my ideals and progressive ideas. So I like that. But he said his whole job is to get money out of politics because he knows once you get money out of politics, you have pretty much done the best you will be able to do for Capitol Hill and help the people that way. That's what he was literally bud nipping it in the bud. That's what Larry Lessig was doing. And I really love that. And when he got pushed out, that's when Bernie Sanders jumped in. And then they cut Bernie Sanders off at the nuts. That was it, And people was like, Bernie's all right, but we don't know him. And now Bernie's got the guilt vote going. Like, we fucked up. He was there. He was right there. We just didn't care. We listened to CNN and Fox News and MSNBC, and we just went with that instead of Bernie. So now he's got the guilt vote.
But like I said, I think if Bernie ain't running for president, I don't think that the Democrats are going to win.
You know what? You and any other progressive out there agree that if Bernie don't run, Democrats don't win. And Bernie's an independent. Why? Because the Democrats are so screwed up, he couldn't be a Democrat. That's it. That's what an independent voter usually is. Someone that disagrees with maybe 3 or 4 things on the party that they really support. They disagree with it so much they can't be in that party. I like independent voters. Everyone should be independent. Everyone. And then vote for who the hell you want to vote for. That's how I would do it. I got the purple snow up there on the background now. I'm going to switch. I'm going to give it the other snow. I'm going to mix it with that soon.
Anyway, back to the impeachment stuff.
Yep. Because Donald Trump definitely, come on, you got the quid pro quo. That's obvious. He breaks the emoluments clause. That's another thing. He's told so many lies, it's hard to find the truth.
Well, that's more of a thing of mix of stupidity and fake and not fake, bad news that he normally gets.
He said windmills cause cancer. The noise from windmills cause cancer.
People say cell phones cause cancer.
They will. G5.
People say that rock and roll causes Satanism and all that other stuff.
Yeah, really. Yeah, and that's got a lot of racism built into that. That's why it's like that.
No, it's like Satanism.
Rock and roll invented by black people. It was popularized in black communities and stuff. And Elvis learned it, and he popularized it, and it started catching on, and people was like, that comes from black people, that's evil, that's against God, and it rolled like that, and then Elvis just pushed it anyway, and the young people was like, fuck you parents, I'm rebelling against your shit because I like the way this sounds, and it just turned into, we control you religiously, but the kids was like, fuck you and that religion then, you know, and so the parents was like, you know what, rock and roll ain't that bad. You know, please come back to God. And the kids was like, yeah. And the parents eventually was like, it's okay. But those hardcore fundamentalists was like, no, rock and roll is evil. And every time there's a new music genre that comes out, the parents say that's a sign of the devil. So, yeah. That's all that was. Quick history. Pause. Okay, you got to come on over. You see, Sidra got words. She's got words.
I got history.
You got history. All right, speak your history, girl.
I cannot remember her name, but a black woman who grew up in the church started rock and roll. She started the guitar picking that's synonymous with rock and roll and that type of singing, but she started it in the church, and then she also did secular music too, and her music is what Elvis saw and fell in love with the way she played the guitar. I have to find her name. I can't remember.
Now that is all absolute irony.
It was the people say it came from the devil when it was born in the church.
Funny.
I just realized that people are still the same level of stupid like in the 1950s.
Yep.
Well, hell, in the 1050s.
It's sad. It's so sad. Oh. Sister, good grief, Sister Rosetta Tharpe. Huh. Well, shit. So religious people, you got some things to think about. You got.
Fake history right there. I'm lying.
Oh yeah, fake history, fake news. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's see. Now you said the roaring economy, and I'm trying to figure out how you get the roaring economy when, I mean, you said the stock markets are going good, but the stock markets have always done decent to good, and jobs still leave. Employers still pay the same or less or get away with what they can, and then they still bring in automation just so they can counter people getting bigger wages. So in truth, it's greed. Stock markets don't have anything to do, nothing really to do with jobs. Nothing.
I also heard that African American and other minority unemployment's been going down. Unemployment's been going down.
It's one, when Obama was in office, he was taking notice of that, and it's like, yeah, African Americans get turned down for jobs based. First of all, they're screened. If you got an African American sounding name, then you're not going to get hired if it's on the application. If you come in, Ice Cube ran a series called Black White, where literally black family was like disguised as white people and vice versa, and they got to see how they were treated out in public, you know, and it's a emotional and powerful series. It really is. And I don't know why they pulled it, because I didn't read up anything official, but I would think it exposes the business. This is why it got pulled. That's why I think it got pulled.
Hold on a sec, I can look it up. What was it again?
It's called Black White. I think it was Black/White. Yeah, it was epic. It was really good. I think anyone should find and watch that series if they can.
And it came from
Yeah.
Ice-T, right?
No, Ice Cube. Ice Cube. Yeah, it's about 15. Yeah, Sidra right, about 15, 20 years ago. But, whew, I thought they was going to keep doing it. And Al Gore, he won the Electoral College. He won the popular vote. He should have been president. But it was taking so long to get the votes in 2 states, primarily Florida, that, and I only learned this from listening to TYT when Jank was talking about it. And so Fox News said, yeah, Bush is the president, yada, 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 because they just wanted to push it to see what would happen, I guess. And then CNN said, well, we can't be too far behind. So they said Bush is the new president. MSNBC followed up, and then others followed up. So nationally, Bush won based on the news reports, but not the voting reports.
It also helps there was a Supreme Court to deal with that.
So Bush lost electorally, he lost popularity, and still won. And that
still confuses me to this day.
I just told you what happened.
Even with you telling me, I'm still confused by it.
It's messed up. It's as if you ran for president and you won everything, but then some news report in your state says, yeah, Timothy Dalton won. And you're like, but the report hasn't come in. And then another news company in your state reports it. Then everyone around there reports it. Then all the national news areas start reporting it. And you're like, but the count's still fucking coming in. And they're like, he's the new president. And you're like, you fucks. And you're like, see, look here. I won on these 2 counts. They say, well, he's already elected. He's in there, man. Too bad, so sad. And you're like, this is some bullshit. And like Al Gore said, because they told him, will you run for president in 2004 for 2005? And he said, no, I've already won. And he just walked off. So Al Gore, by that sense, he ran for presidency. He basically, he won. He really won. But he's never served. So he's right now, he should have been president in 2000. So he's basically never lost the presidential seat that he won in a sense. And you want to flip it that way. This is what you call spin. This is spin. So since he never, lost it, he's still president. It's almost like he could just claim it at any given time.
Oh, dear God.
Just to fuck around with people. Hey, you know what? Never got my chance up there, man. So, yep, get the fuck out. I'm in.
Well, at least he calls himself the former president of the United States.
He does?
I think so.
Now, that's comedy. That's comedy. I just added the white snow with the black rings on it because can't exactly green screen. Well, chroma key that stuff out properly. And the background is a desert area, so that's just funny.
This conversation went from trying to understand what we are thinking to literally everything else.
Yeah. That's how conversations go. And then come right back to the original topic eventually, and then go to something else, and then go back, and that's how that is, And that's how I am. I bounce off the walls. It sucks. I have ADHD real bad, so it's hard for me to stay.
Which is actually something text does not convey. Text does not convey the emotions.
Nope. Yeah, when it text, it's like it comes off like you suck, man. That's text just sounds so emotionless and it sounds like believe me or you're a piece of shit. That's how text usually. No matter how benign you try to make it, no matter how joyful you do, and then you can put I disagree with you with a smiley face, and it's like, oh, now you're trolling.
Well, the only other option is basically start going full attorney online and just putting up a picture of a random character. they're making an emotion that you want to convey.
Pictures can tell 1,000 words, but not tell you how they felt.
A voice can.
Yep. Let's see. 2000. Yeah, it would have been the Bill Clinton effect. I'm talking. I guess you're talking about the what is it when they pretty much like, we're going to impeach you on something. We'll find something. They kept trying and trying and trying. Then they said, oh, you must have been cheating on your wife, which honestly I can't blame them. But yeah, they got him on that. You lied. It's like, oh man. You know what? You want to use the Bill Clinton
How
effect?
did he have any interest in her?
Hillary Clinton was nice looking when she was younger and not so evil looking. But
evil.
Here's the thing: the Bill Clinton effect going on that, because you know he lied, so he got impeached. I would like to see that used. Yeah, like Sidra said, this motherfucker, he lie every day. And yeah, you tell lies to the public, you have then made your ability to be president null and void. You know?
Well,
So
everybody lies all the time.
yeah,
Hell,
but
even I do that about 50% of the time.
yeah, and yet you're not in a position of power. You're not in a position of public discourse. You're not in a position to make people believe things that are not true. And they act on that shit. Trump became people wanted to say racism was never here until Trump. And it's like, no, fuck you. Trump got in and racism exploded. All right? When
Racism has been around since like forever.
When Obama won, racism jumped up because it was rebellious. When Trump won, racism exploded to say we could get away with it. There's a big difference in the mentality behind it. You know,
Well, even with that, I mean, people have gotten fired for saying racist things.
yes, they got fired by people that know that if they don't fire them, then they look like accomplices and people won't shop at their business anymore and they will lose money. So
Yeah,
money
that also-
trumps everything, no pun intended. I mean, that's why I talk about people when you get harassed by the police, you don't try to put them in jail. Civil lawsuit, you hit them pockets. Once you kill them, once you hit them pockets on the police department, they will change their policies and do the right thing. So they keep their officers out of trouble.
Even then, that don't work half the time.
That's because you got these asshole police officers that's like, I got a badge, I can do whatever I want to do. You know,
Money means nothing to them.
Huh?
But some of those people, some of those corrupt officers, money means nothing to them.
No, it don't. They just want the power. No, but
Well,
he
all I
said to
want-
some officers, you know, 'cause yeah, to those certain officers, they don't care about no damn money. It's like I just gave all of these tickets out and gave my department an extra $5,000 to $5 million, but I don't get any of that because I'm on salary or whatnot. So fuck that. I just want the power. I know that I have your life in my hands. I got this gun, and if you resist by not following any orders, I get to shoot and kill you because my life was in danger, or at least I felt that it was. That's what police get to do. So
In
you
my
hit
case,
them
I want-
pockets.
In my case, I want all of the power, so that way all I can do is just sit around, eat, sleep, and I don't know, probably enact a few social programs. I don't know.
The only thing I would abuse if I had all the power, the only thing I would honestly abuse is if I buy a transformer, it should only cost $1.
In my case, I would just, I don't know, magic up some food.
Yep. People on the ground level where we are, honestly, the truth is we think about the need, you know. We need this, we need that. And others, you know, like those in middle class, upper middle class, it's more like, I want this, I want that, that'd be nice. And then you got those in the upper class that are more like, I'm trying to protect this so I don't have to do that. That seems to be the baseline trend of it all. Seems to be anyway. You know, and hey, if I'm wrong, hey guys, comment section, talk to me, talk to us. You know, talk to Mr. Pony. You know, talk to him. You know, ask him questions and whatnot. Hold I, and Sidra accountable for what we say and do. You know, that's how you get better if no one tells you what the fuck you're doing wrong. So.
Or if you decide to go off topic to talk about how sexy I am, here we go for it.
They go for it. Sexy pony. Let's see. What did Tazek say? Well, Conquering Thought. He says, no, they have enough concrete evidence. What I'm worried about is, well, their incompetence while wielding said evidence. If they had the House in 2016, they could have impeached him on day one. But as for their current tactics, it's so pathetically weak. Donald J. Trump, I had to figure out what DJT meant. I was like, what the fuck? Donald J. Trump gave them everything they need, and they still took over 9 months to start. Then they also chose to frame it poorly using really weak speakers to convey that weak frame. Okay, and then you said, so asking Ukraine to investigate possible corruption in both 2016, in the 2016 election and on Hunter Biden without anything in return is considered impeachable. And you know, it's impeachable now. And my thoughts were, why are you asserting that there was nothing asked in return? I'm like, what's your evidence that nothing was asked in return?
In my case, I actually did see the transcript one time. I did read through it a lot.
So you saw the outright unredacted version of the transcript.
At least what was in public, apparently.
Yeah, the public one is redacted. There's a lot of redacted shit on there. And then people started coming out like a month or so after that was released. And they were like, nope, I was on the phone listening and this was said, that was said. And it's like, oh, crap. And I'm like, now it's he said, she said. I'm like, this is dumb.
That's kind of the whole reason why I don't think the impeachment's doing well. Or why he shouldn't be impeached. I mean, it's just here's people. What I can tell, what from the public can see, you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
It's basically just, according to the public, hearsay.
That's what it turned into, because, and the transcript is there, the unredacted one is, and they're trying to subpoena to get it. Some are.
But he is obstructing.
Yeah,
trying to.
Trump is obstructing it.
There was people also suing Schiff because he got a few phone numbers, including one from a person that did no crime.
Fuck, that hurt. Repeat that.
There are a few people like no. There are people trying to sue Adam Schiff for collecting phone data, especially from one person that did not do any form of crime.
If they do that, they sue him for collecting phone data. That means all of the government can be sued for collecting phone data. They will shut down the NSA. They need to shut down any phone companies that render their phone data to any other party. That's the precedent it should set.
I'm very unclear on that part, though.
Okay.
I mean, remember, I've seen these things and I sometimes forget some of them.
I don't. That's the reason why I don't listen to Fox News or any conservative TV shows, and I don't listen to Democrat or / establishment TV shows because it's just they're just propaganda machines. You know, they are.
I mostly focus on the independent stuff.
Yeah, that's turned into a bastardized word. Independent used to be good because it meant we don't work or cater to either side. But the problem is they get their sources and whatnot from a one leaning side, and then they themselves have their own belief areas that are leaning to a side. So basically, they could call themselves in the middle all they want, but they'll definitely talk from that side that
So
they cater to the
basically,
most.
so basically a confirmation bias.
Basically, that's why I don't listen to them. That's the only reason. That's the only reason why. As much, I'm telling you, 2 days ago, Kyle Kalinske pissed me the fuck off, and I really want to wring his fucking neck, but because he was showing his fucking elitism, and I can't stand elitist mindsets. The shit pissed me off. But yet, he and the Young Turks, they do talk it straight up. And they don't talk down the middle. No, they tell you the truth from either side. And they both have been raining hell on Democrats way more than Republicans. Because the Democrats
Well, to be fair, Cenk is getting smeared by the media.
Yeah, they lie on him. Absolute lie.
Apparently, they say that he supports bestiality or something.
They'll dig in through stuff. And in the past, what happened was Cenk Uygur in the past. I'm also talking to you and Sidra. Sidra's like, what? Because if they do talk about the bestiality thing, there's episodes where they talked about people getting caught with animals here in the U.S. and in Europe, stuff like that. And Cenk is like, if you want to do such a thing, man, that's you, brother. All right, but I suggest not to do it. And so they're like, you are for it and stuff. And then there's the whole thing where, goddamn, I can't remember, David Duke, and he was like, I'm not what you would call a racist. And he's like, of course you're not. Because he was like, I am tired of proving to you how racist your ass is. And he was just like, I'm done. And I remember that interview, and I remember sitting looking. I was like, I'm going to smack this dude right across his damn face. I wanted to smack David Duke so much. I couldn't stand his troll ass.
According to David Duke himself, he also hates President Trump.
Yeah, that's what it basically, because Trump won't racist enough. Some racists have turned their back on Trump because he wasn't racist enough, and that's what's fucked up. He gained their support with the Charleston and the murder that happened there, Heather Heyer, and he was like, there were bad people on both sides, and it's like, what the fuck? So yeah, that put them further on. That was the confirmation that they needed. But then afterwards, there are like some many months later, he was like, this group did something bad and it's atrocious, but we got to think about. Then he played it down the middle, but it was like the fact that you even said that what we did was bad. Fuck you. So he lost some of the racist support, like 1 or 2%, and they'll come back. They'll come back. He just got to talk about hating Muslims and people of the Jewish faith and Mexicans, and then they'll come back. That's all he's got to do.
Well, at the end of the day, sometimes people don't remember what you did, rather how you made them feel.
Yes, and when they go in already feeling good, and he says some stupid shit, and they feel better, and they get a cheap laugh, then they're like, I love Trump. And it's like, what the fuck? And then someone could soundbite that and be like, yeah, Cedric Kennedy, he loves Donald Trump because he just said it. Here's the clip. So that's, yeah, it's how people do it. And I'm like, these are the people that should be kicked off of platforms. When people do that, they should lose their accounts. They should not be allowed to come back at all. That's what I think.
But this is the internet. People can have about 1,000 accounts and nobody would stop them.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. What'd you say? This is almost the last thing. See, I can understand if they wanted to impeach Trump because of the wall, because racism, or the fact one of his new judges has never judged a case before, but wanting to know if taxpayer money is going to Ukraine or to their oligarchs is wrong. That I cannot agree with. I'll be honest with you. Huh?
Hey, what?
No, you was going to say something. I want to hear what you had to say.
forgot.
He's like, I forgot. I'm not going to point it. I'm not going to point it out to people, but earlier I forgot my own name. I'm not going to point out when. If anyone can find when, I don't know. I might have to find something to give them. But I'm not going to say when. Okay, you want me to read it back to you?
Oh, I have a phone. I keep on getting that.
Let's see, because I was like, what? It was, and I was like, maybe I'm not reading it or understanding it right, you know. And there are things where I really think I see something else, and then I go back a day later, and I'm like, what the fuck did I read then? And it's not edited, and I'm like, what did I read? So,
Wait, where did I put it?
You wrote, I can understand if they wanted to impeach Trump because of the wall, because racism, or the fact one of his new judges has never judged a case before. But wanting to know if taxpayer money is going to Ukraine or to their oligarchs is wrong, I cannot agree with that.
Well, you did make a good counterpoint in return.
Huh?
You made a good counterpoint in return.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out, taxpayer money. I'm like, I honestly, I don't want my money going, to anybody other than this state and help some of these broke up roads and shit. This fucked up here. I wish to start an initiative. Hey, if your car gets anything broken on it because you hit a pothole or anything like that, the city has to pay for it. Hit those pockets enough times, and you're going to see people working on the roads 24/7.
And then you have California, who has a supermajority, and yet they can't figure out the issues of the homeless problems.
I could solve California's homeless problems in an instant, but California.
Well, you do need. Well, we also have the issue of the homeless people just wanting to be homeless.
Some people, some people make more money being homeless. They got bank accounts, and they got a lot of money in there.
They just don't want to be in a home. They just don't want to be in a home. They want to just be outside, relaxing, and all we just gotta do is make sure the civilians are safe, no matter whether they have a home or not.
Now, the majority of people don't want to be homeless, but I have met people that wanted to be homeless. So shit, they was like, I got my bank account, I got my card, and
I got my money.
They turn in their money the day they get it. They don't care about the $2 charge. They turn their money in when they get it and stuff, and they just keep it growing that way. They just get enough food to eat and whatnot, and they beg on the streets for money and food and whatnot. So I'm like, shit. It's their thing.
That's the greatest thing about this country. You can basically do a lot of the things you want.
So long as you don't step on the toes of the powerful. You can do whatever you want so long as you don't get in the way of people who got stuff.
I can literally walk up to the president, tell him, you can go and kill yourself. Now fuck off. And I'll probably get yelled at by the agents, but I won't get arrested for it.
No, and you shouldn't. That's how I see. I mean, that's a good thing. But Trump wants.
Try doing that in any other country.
There are people
You'll
out
have some
there.
You'll have some police guy walking up to you, Texas style, with hands up to their chest, and walking in a slouch, going, "You're under arrest."
It's amazing. People in Australia, they talked to the people there, and it's like, what do you think is a badass accent and stuff like that? And they like the Texas accent, people from Texas. And I'm like, fuck. I was like, say it, say it, say it. And then they came out, one said, yeah, man, because we all love John Wayne. And I was like, you assholes, I knew it.
Yep.
there's a movie called The Birdcage. I love that movie. That movie.
I have never heard of it.
If you can find it, watch it. You will laugh your ass off. It stars Robin Williams and the original voice of Timon from The Lion King. I can't remember his name, but
Pumbaa, not in front of the kids.
and he told dude, he was like, "Walk like John Wayne," and he did, and it was like, "What the fuck?" It'll mess your head up. And Robin Williams' character, he's like, "Wow, that's perfect." Like, I never realized he walked like that, but yeah, it was perfect. That shit is so funny. There's a lot. There is too much funny in that movie. It's a growing experience. I would think, honestly, when it comes to LGBTQ+, that would be one of their favorite movies. So, I mean, I love movies that can teach you lessons. I love that stuff.
Anything can teach you a lesson.
Almost. There's some things out there that are just vapid as fuck. You know, they just really are vapid. And see, like, and I want to ask you, do you think that this whole conversation was more like a ambush or a got you moment or anything?
Nah, it was more like two people talking to each other.
That's what I wanted.
And understanding each other.
You know, everyone's got their views and stuff. And see, here's the thing. This is the baseline of why some people get so angry. Because if you are a staunch Republican, you have to vote for things like the wall, for racism, for an oligarchic system, for a theocracy. You have to vote for runaway capitalism and all this other stuff. You have to vote for punish the poor, feed off the middle class, and embolden the rich and the wealthy. And people will say, no, I'm a Republican. That's not what a Republican is. And you have to point out to them, you can think and feel what you want. However, that goes against what the Republicans are actually doing. And the Democrats are really no damn different. They aren't.
The only difference is how they do it.
Yes.
Because it's basically all the same corrupt people at the top. White. It's basically all the same at the top. White.
And that's it. And you might get some, you might have that one or two or whatnot, black people that can make it up there, but Latina, you know, and they can get up there, but they're there just to say, hey, my race or my people suck, and this is why, and that's it. That sucks, but that's what happens. Look at Jesse Lee Peterson. Good grief. Candace Owens, that's another one. And now look at Tulsi Gabbard. She's, man, no, it's just, those people are grotesque and they get on my nerves. And I know Conquer Thought's going to probably hate me talking shit about Tulsi Gabbard. But you know what, man? She sucks. She's done. She's over. All right? She done moved from progressive. She moved down to just plain Democrat. Then she moved to establishment, which would be center left. Then now she's trying to get to that middle area and transition to Republican shit. That's what she's trying to do.
Well, one of the Democrats actually transitioned to Republican simply because of the impeachment.
I forgot who that was.
So did I, actually. I keep on forgetting a lot of things.
Yep. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to remember who really left and went to what. You know why? Because that don't matter. And I know that might hit people the wrong way, but the truth is, does it really matter what Republican became a Democrat or what Democrat becomes a Republican? It
depends on if they're in your district or not.
Yes, and I understand that. But what's the point of voting for a Republican or a Democrat if your district is going to stay the same? You see what I'm saying? Republican, Democrat. They're both establishment. Matter of fact, I wanted to bring this up before I even started talking. The Republicans had their establishment version, and people forget this, and it was short-lived. This was while I was in high school. there were Republicans, but there were establishment Republicans, and the establishment Republicans were the ones that was really fucking things up, and the Republicans were trying to fight the establishment Republicans, and then by the time I got out of high school and got done with technical college, I was like hearing no more of the establishment Republicans. It was just Republicans. And then there was establishment Democrats, but that talk was fleeting here and there, sprinkled throughout. And then much later, you know, because I had to turn off politics because I was like, this is some dumb shit because nothing's getting done. Now I'm hearing the establishment in general. And then it was almost like there's Republican, Democrat establishment. That's what it seemed like. Then it transitioned to Republican, Democrat, establishment Democrat. And then I was already progressive. I was already talking about Henry A. Wallace. He might not have been perfect, but he was amazingly great for what's needed, even today. Then, a year or two after that, I'm hearing Young Turks calling out there's Republicans, establishment Democrats, and then progressives. And that now you've got that is what the baseline is now. Republicans, establishment, which means Democrat, and then progressive. And that is the problem that is faced with in politics. We've got the progressive, but we don't have a progressive party. We've got the establishment, and people out there say, what is the difference between any Democrat and progressive if they're all Democrat? And when you can't differentiate them in terms of party, then you have to say basically you're with them. And it makes it hard. Because you got people like AOC, who's the rock star of the progressives. But then anyone could say, if she's so progressive, why is there no change? If she, Ilhan Omar, and others are so progressive, why is there no change?
Well, in that case, I can answer perfectly.
As Sidra said, it's 4 of them. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, actually, she explained the entire reason why. There's only 4 of them at the moment.
Yes. While there's 4, that's 4 in the Senate. That's 4 in Congress. That's 4 in the government.
I thought that was 4 in the House of Representatives.
Yeah, I'm used to the 3 branches, not the sub branches. So I just
No, the House of Representatives and the Senate are both the same thing, only they're different parts.
Yes.
Representatives being based off of population, and Senate based off of everyone gets 2.
And
There's
I'm
your
like,
fun fact of the day, people.
And to me, I'm like, shouldn't that all be the fucking same?
The legislative branch.
Yeah, legislative. Yeah. That's it. Judicial, executive, legislative, that's it. Stop, girl. She tried to go all goober with it. She was Oh crap! What special was that?
Dana Carvey back in the day.
Dana Carvey?
Yeah, do you wash, rinse, and repeat?
Kevin Costner?
David, Dana Carvey.
Oh.
Do you wash, rinse, and repeat? It's like, well, I rinse and I wash. Do you repeat? No. Ha! So yeah, it was. You know, it was an all right bit. You know, it wouldn't crack the fuck up funny, but it was a good bit to. Yeah, but you don't think about Dana Carvey until the right moment come up. Good grief, man. Politics is. I don't like politics because politics. In order to be a politician, you have to be a domestic terrorist on the most polite, passive scale to do as much damage as you can to everyone while getting what you want and seen as a saint doing it. That's how I view it.
Well, I view it like, well, depends on who's in the leadership spot.
And that is where it dies
anyone
for me.
Anyone can run for it. I mean, Cortez is basically the perfect example of, yes, even you can run for Congress and do a Russian leg sweep.
Yes. I took the snow off the screen. Now you just get background stuff. I like this. I might. No, I'm not gonna change background because people might like this one. I don't know. It's kind of peaceful. Got a little roaring fire at the top. You know what? The next background I'm going to go to the snow area. So it doesn't matter if it's a foggy day or not. It's going to be snowy and it'll be in front of a little fire. That might look good. I don't know.
It might. It would also fit the setting because, well, it's raining, it's cold, I'm outside, and I have a bunch of dogs near me.
Yeah. So do you want to wrap this up? You know, because
I can go for as long as you feel like.
This has been an hour and almost 20 minutes. And honestly, I didn't even know it. I've been having fun talking and stuff. You know,
something we've all been missing in every single one of our lives, apparently.
Yeah. I wasn't even thinking about it. I really wasn't. I was just, I lost the thought of you. Now, everyone got to understand, Mr. Pony is outside in the cold and it's raining. And
I'm willing to go up to 12 a.m. for this.
I'll just be like, no, I want to do other stuff. I don't want to.
No, I said I can go up to 12 a.m. to do this.
Yes, that's further than I could go. I personally don't want you outside in the cold.
I don't either.
Oh, trust me, I can deal with the cold all I want. It helps my lungs pretty well.
Oh, okay. That don't make it okay in my mind, but it takes a lot of the pressure off.
But of course, if I stay out here for too long, there's the possibility of coyotes coming along.
Did he say coyote?
Yeah, coyotes. When I want to fuck with people, though, I'll try to pronounce it coyote.
Toyota.
Wait, what'd you say, Sidra?
We don't want him to get carried away by coyotes.
She says, we do not want you to get carried away by coyotes.
I have about nine dogs here. Few German Shepherds, a few Pit Bulls, a Beagle, a Lab, and what the fuck one of these dogs are? What the fuck is it? It's a big-headed Beagle. I don't know what it is. It looks like a real-life Scrappy-Doo.
What the fuck? What the fuck? I could not stand Scrappy-Doo. I could not stand his ass.
If he was written better, then I could stand him.
He talks so much shit, and then run away crying.
No, it's more like he talks so much shit, wants to back up his shit, and keeps on getting dragged away.
He did, didn't he? They did grab him by his collar and drag his ass away. He's sitting there like, come on.
That's the thing.
Yeah, he gets Scooby in trouble. He believed his Uncle Scooby was like the biggest, bravest thing on the planet. He was trying to be like him.
Problem is, though,
I'm like,
Scooby was much more of a coward than an average Frenchman on drugs.
Good grief! Why everybody hate the French?
Because fuck the French. That's the joke. We're keeping it.
It's like our language comes from the French.
Baguettes come from the French.
Yeah, Sidra said if it weren't for the French, we'd be eating pig. They called it pork, so that's where it comes from. The word pork.
Eat pork.
And the word beef comes from French, from France. Poultry. So everything that we call anything, it comes from France. And then people say, well, the French, they were the cowards in the war. And it's like, does World War II ring a bell of the United States saying we don't want to get involved, we don't want to be a part of it? Oh, you attack us, so we'll drop the bomb on you. And do it cowardly, might I add, and then be like, yep, now we got to get in because now we look strong. And that's really all it is.
Well, in both of those, in the case of World War I, it's just hey, we're just taking advantage of the trading with the UK. And with World War II, it's like, hey, we know you're having a war and all. We kind of fucked here right now.
The United States is really far away. It's like, look, we here. Go on somewhere. And they're like, man. Hitler's like, hey, Japan. They're like, what? You know they're going to fuck you up. No, they're not. No, they're going to fuck you up. No, they're not. They're going to fuck you up. Don't you understand that? I think they might fuck us up. Let's go ahead and attack them preemptively.
I think I know what Japan's thought process was when they decided to attack the United States.
I know what it was, but I want to hear your comedy. I know exactly what it was.
All right. Now, first, we must send this letter to the United States telling them we will attack Pearl Harbor. All right. It has been sent. Now, send those planes. Pilot. Oh, yes. We are here, and we are about to dive bomb into these ships. I am about to crash into this ship. Say goodbye to my wife for me. Boom, boom. Yes, it is perfect. Sir, that letter was delayed. What?
Oh, shit.
We're fucked.
Japan, they was like, hey, we attack them, decimate that whole area. They would be so ashamed and so embarrassed they will surrender or leave us alone in general. They had no idea the United States were bullies waiting to happen. It's like they just bombed our ships. They killed all these people. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna ruin that shit?
Problem was that the United States could have stopped it. They basically said it took us there was some guy years ago before the war that said Japan can do this, and the United States was like, nah, we don't think that'll happen.
Roosevelt knew.
Oh, so Sidra said Roosevelt knew.
Roosevelt knew that something was coming.
They knew there was a risk, but they didn't get the letter of the declaration of war.
So you over there, Sidra, so I got, uh-huh. That's why I wanted you to have a mic over there, but the shit wasn't working properly. You know that thing I tried to tell you about way earlier that you didn't want to listen to, and now you're like, I'm just holding you accountable for it.
I already said I'm gonna come over here.
Yeah, but you kept trying to talk over there. You keep trying to talk from over there.
I understand that.
And you said, what did you say? If there's something I gotta say, I'm gonna.
Get up.
And you didn't. You just.
I'm a lazy bone, and I'm trying to shout, and it's not working, so I'm here now.
Yeah,
Okay.
Didn't want to listen to me.
I didn't want to listen to you.
You didn't. That's why you got to work. I know that. That's why you got to listen to me.
I understand.
I
was trying to work with you.
No, you're not.
I was trying to get the stuff hooked up.
I'm talking about after that. You been kicking me.
Roosevelt knew something was coming. I don't think he knew exactly what, but he knew that something that was coming. And the problem was he knew what a danger Hitler was. But I believe the popular notion in the country at the time is that the people didn't want to get involved. But Roosevelt knew we had to get involved. And if we had to get involved, things might have gone a different way. So he knew that something was coming. I don't know if he knew what, and I'm sure you could look it up to find out exactly what went down. But it was enough to galvanize this country to get us involved, and it made a huge difference.
Honestly, I think I know what happened I think I can probably know what would happen if the United States didn't get involved. And I'm guessing complete domination by the Soviet Union. I mean, think about it. The Soviet Union, a giant, bloody country. They can literally eat up any enemies with no problem.
Yeah, but the Soviet Union, they were already defeated.
The Soviet Union was fighting Hitler tooth and nail on the whole border of their country and got utterly defeated and pushed back by the Germans. And they had to go, millions upon millions of people died. They didn't have guns, they didn't have anything, but they kept fighting because Stalin knew what a threat Hitler was and had been telling the other world powers, like back in 1939 when Hitler was just giving speeches, that this dude, we need to watch the fuck out, but nobody was listening. So Stalin was fighting tooth and nail with the rest of the Russians and getting killed and got pushed back into their own country. And then they turned their whole population into, a war-producing fighting force and was able to battle back. you know, if it hadn't been for Russia fighting so hard on that front, things might not have gone different, might not have gone the way they did on the European front. With that being known, that's why Roosevelt promised so many things to help Russia rebuild after the war was over. But Roosevelt died, Truman came into power and reneged on all of that. That reneging by Truman is what led to the Cold War. So I don't think it would have gone that way with Russia, because Russia and U.S. and England were trying to work together and were working together to defeat Hitler. But then Roosevelt died, and the assholes in this country put a dumbass in power who didn't know how to do shit. He got ran over by J. Edgar Hoover. He got ran over by the feds. He reneged on Russia and the deal he made with Russia and Stalin, and that's what set off the Cold War.
Huh. Interesting.
Yep.
The glories of having a conversation. We actually know what we're talking about.
Yep. People want to still hate communist Russia, and it's like, dude, we got communism here in the U.S. Minimum wage, that's a communism right there.
While I do disagree with the communist ideas, well, at least some of them, there are some that I do agree with.
Then you hate minimum wage. Because communism, everyone wants to say communism is this, everyone getting paid the exact same no matter what job they do. So minimum wage is communism.
But then there are some things that communism can do well on. I mean, yeah, communism can work well on a small scale. At least that's what I've heard, because would you want to give someone the power to dictate how a country can be run? At least until we can reach a point where people can be self-sufficient?
People can only be self-sufficient in a place where they are able to be themselves and do what they wish to do that doesn't hurt or harm anyone else. But that's not how this country is. This country is all about being protected. That means the wealthy must be protected. So they have to have the run of everything and make money. And if people get to live and do what they want to do, then that means they can innovate new businesses, new ideas, new sales, new toys, new gadgets, new phones, new everything. But that would hurt big business if there's competition. And that's why we can't have nice things.
At the end of the day, competition fuels everything.
Yep, and there is none. Where I am, AT&T, actually it was Verizon, had the phone companies have territories now. That means monopolizing or duopolizing. So AT&T and Verizon have the territories here. And other phone companies that we did have, they had to leave. They got ate up. And they didn't have enough to support what they needed, because Verizon became so popular with pushing so many commercials. People decided to switch to Verizon, and they all did. And then they were like, I miss my old company, man. And it's like, yeah, dumbass. Of course you do. It's like, Verizon sucks. I know they do. And that's how that works.
Well, I think have a Verizon phone, though it's not working because it's an old phone that hasn't been paid in a while.
Yep, and it's probably going to cost you a lot of money to get it turned back on anyway.
Even if it could, I mean, why should I?
All right.
I'm perfectly fine with my Wi-Fi.
Yep. I wouldn't get that shit turned back on.
Which, speaking of the issue of the communism, I still hate Windstream.
Windstream? What's that?
Yes.
What's that?
It's an internet company that also does a little bit of phone stuff.
Ah. Never heard of them. Yeah,
They're based
I
in
saw
Alabama.
that.
They're based in Alabama, and for years they sucked.
Ah, okay. She looked something up here. Oh,
There's
okay.
a state, I think it's either
Hold.
There's a state that's either Tennessee or Kentucky where the whole state has free internet. I can't remember which one.
Lucky bastards.
Yeah, Germany. In Germany, everybody has free internet. You know why? You can't function without internet. We're not in a society where you can function properly without internet. So it is a right. Everybody over there has free internet. You know,
Ultimately, with some people, they're like, "What can you do?" Oh, hold on. I feel like I know what I'm about to talk about, but I don't know if I can get the words proper.
Well, I would say begin the topic, and we'll just go back and forth with that.
Okay. There are some people in the world that believe there's a survival instinct that you have to focus on based off of rights. Like, what rights do you have when you're lost in the woods? Is what people would sometimes say. Like how some people would justify healthcare not being a right simply because how would healthcare help you if you're stuck in the middle of the woods with no way to get to a hospital? But they also justify it with freedom of speech because no one can stop you from speaking your mind when you're in the middle of the woods. That's how some people justify rights.
That means they don't know what the fuck rights are. That's all.
Thankfully, we have our human rights.
Rights are government. So that means...
Actually, we have our human rights, actually. Things that we are allowed to do and government can't do. Government can't come into our homes and say, how's our soldiers? Governments can't seize our stuff without warrants. Governments can't restrict our speech. Governments can't restrict our ways to defend ourselves. They cannot enforce slavery, though that part is questionable because some people are using the criminals as free slave labor. And for some reason, the government can give themselves a raise for some reason. I don't know. That was the last amendment done, and even I don't even know how that works.
Cops can invade your home whenever they feel like it. They don't necessarily need a warrant.
But it is illegal.
Yes, it is. It's damn illegal. But they don't need a warrant. They can invade your home, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. And everyone will say that, well, yeah, they're okay.
You actually can. I mean, like you said, punch them in the pocketbook.
Yep. Because if you defend your home from an invading cop, you are going to prison or getting the death penalty. And you'll probably get shot by the cops that want to apprehend you anyway. They'll just come in and blaze you up.
Of course, there are the families of that person.
There's what?
There are families of that person that got blazed up.
Yeah. This recent thing that happened was this, and I just sort of, I just leave this on the Masters Report on Studio News Network. He's basically police videos and whatnot, and he is not pro-police. But he will put a video up if the police do something good. He'll put that up there. But this woman, this guy, white guy and his daughter in their trailer. Door bust open. Black woman there. He's like, get the fuck out. And she's like, you got a daughter. Okay, no, I'm not trying to cause any harm to anyone. Turns around, cops shoot 19 rounds, killing her and killing the daughter or the son. The son, it was the son, killed the son. So,
God damn.
And then the cops say that the suspect was armed and dangerous. She had a gun on her. And I'm like, that justifies you putting other people at risk. There's a video of, and it's usually chasing black people, but this car pulls into this cul-de-sac. Cop car comes up from behind. Cop gets out the car shooting. There's no words. He gets out the car, firing round after round. Then he says, "Stop or I'll shoot." And the other cop cars come, and this guy empty more rounds from his clip, hitting the driver. And, you know, then they're like, basically, we don't give a shit that you're hurt. We don't give a shit that you're shot. You know, you were stealing. And that's it. So stealing constitutes getting shot.
That's just going to be an issue of the cops and the apparent hatred to poor people.
At first, it used to be just black people in general, but no. White dude, homeless guy. All he's got is a knife. He's got to be 20, 25 feet from the cops. He's around some kind of big ping pong table or something. The cops want to put the knife down. He don't. So about 6 cops using automatic rifles gun this dude down. And the guy wasn't even wielding the knife in a threatening manner. He just had it. And he was scared. And they shot and killed him. Oh, yeah. He was also disabled.
Oh, joy.
Yeah, disabled. Yeah, my bad. No, he won't disable. What Sidra was trying to say was they killed disabled people too, which that did happen. This guy, it happened to a white guy and it happened to a black guy. Both deaf. The black guy was deaf. Cops telling him, you know, hey, turn around, hands up, turn around, hands up. He ignored them. They shot him about 3 or 4 times in the back. He died. The other dude was deaf and mute, but could not read lips. So they're telling him to turn around, yada, yada, yada. He don't. Cop grabs him, turns around. He isn't talking. And the cop is screaming orders at him. He's deaf and mute. He tries to sign at them, hey, I don't understand. And they pulled a gun and shoot him because the hands came up. They got scared. They shot and killed him. Cop on camera says to this guy, he didn't shoot and kill because the guy wouldn't roll his window all the way down. He rolled it down just enough. And they're like, you need to put the window down. He says, nope, I don't have to do that. And it's like, look, how do I know? He says, how do I know I'm not afraid of you? You've got to prove to me that you're safe. And I'm like, what the fuck? So, yeah, a woman.
It also helps that there's also a lack of community as of these days.
The community is the ones that's usually getting these people in trouble. The neighbors, there's a black neighbor. So the white neighbor calls the cop saying, look, the dog keeps coming in my yard. So the cop goes to the other place, says, hey, your dog getting free. And she's like, yeah. And she's like, you know, you got to stop that. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna tie him up, but he keeps getting loose and he keeps getting over there and I don't understand, but you know what? I'm gonna fix that. You know, I'm real sorry. All right, it should be done. Yep. She goes to the house and he's trying to keep her or do something. She goes into the house, closes the door. The cop nudges the door open and walks in. And at that moment, he is trespassing. He was already, once it was done, he was trespassing, but now he has entered the home. And she says, you need to leave. And he says, no. Now, at that moment, she should have the right to shoot this fucker because he is invading her home. He is threatening. And what happens to her is you can tell that she's feeling powerless and she's probably pissed at the same time. So this escalates into her. She says she leaves the house. The cop don't leave. He stays in the house. She's calling her mom. She's like, he won't leave the house, won't get out the yard, all this other stuff. And that turns into the cop grabbing her, throwing her to the ground, and cuffing her. For what? I don't fucking know why. The teacher said, for fucking what? I'm like, I don't fucking know why. He just did it.
Well, like you said, it could be because they have the power.
Yep. It's like, well, since you can't stop me, I did this to you.
Or basically in this logic, you got the badge, you got the power! Yeah!
I'm a Stan Bush fan.
This is gonna get blocked. I don't know how.
Oh no, they don't have to block anything anymore. It's just the only thing that's going to get recognized now for YouTube for recommendations is just going to be the mainstream media. That's it. So MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, stuff like that. That'll get recognized. Anything else, they just won't put in the recommended section. And if your video is for kids,
I'm just surprised they're actually recognizing Fox News. Because I thought that YouTube hated conservative stuff.
no, YouTube wasn't meant to be conservative or democratic or progressive. YouTube is like, look, you got a video, put it up here. We don't give a shit. That was it. All this is advertisement. Advertisers will definitely work with those companies, but not with the little guys. So therefore, you go with what the advertisers are telling you to go for. YouTube is ran by Google, and the advertisers are going to Google saying, we want this, and they say, all right, because we'll get the money. That's it. Basically, that's how politics work. Oil companies and whatnot get sued ad nauseum. They get hit for 10,000, for $1 million, for 10 million. They get popped constantly for it. But subsidies from the government, which is taxpayer money given to these oil companies in the excess of $100-some million, that covers that plus some. And the oil companies say, you're looking out for us, so we'll give you money. Just make sure we get deregulated. And so they get deregulated. And that's it.
That is something you did tell me about.
Yeah, I mean, it's and here's the thing. That's just, it's open. There's no hiding it. You know, you could do simple Ecosia searches and you can just find it. Not just, yeah, just,
Ecosia and DuckDuckGoose. Or DuckDuckGo.
You know, so protect the business. That's the whole point of it. Protect the business. And they don't give a shit about anybody else. You know, because when you deregulate a company, that means they cut corners. When you deregulate a company, that means they don't have to give a shit about their employees. When you deregulate a company, they don't have to care about the environment. So they get to do whatever the fuck they want to do, and we all suffer. And we all suffer because we are the people that elect the assholes in that help these deregulations. And the conservative talking point is there's too much regulation, so businesses can't grow. But businesses are so damn near deregulated, they don't have anything. And just keep this in mind. This is the most important thing. Regulating means you children can't do stupid shit. That's what it means. Because all of these big companies are just dumbass kids with power and money. And they want to do what they want to do and not pay more money. I don't want to have to dump my stuff here. That costs a lot of money to dispose of it properly. Why can't I just throw it there where I want? And they say, all right, so if you don't throw it there, what's going to happen? Well, I'll make an extra $150 million instead of using that $150 million to cover that shit up properly. They say, okay, then, if you give me this, then I will let you do whatever you want. I will deregulate that. You can do whatever you want. And they say, good. Here's $110 million. They say, great. Deregulate this and those other things. Wow, great. That'll put $300 million in our pocket. Thank you. We've made money off of your dumb ass. They're like, thank you for giving my dumb ass money. And we're like, hey, you dumbasses, what? We're going to vote for you. Great. Hey, when you vote for us, make sure you blame the other side. Well, we'll do that, sure. And that's that. There you go. Humanity right now in a nutshell.
We need multi-parties.
We need one party, a progressive party that's not apologetic. We need a party that is.
Need any party. We don't need parties at all. We just need independent people.
Kill the parties. You know, kill them. No more parties, and everyone's independent. And when you run for president, you don't run on a ticket. You just run, and that's it. So people are like, wait a minute, how do I vote? I mean, do I do Democrat? Do I do Republican? What do I do? It's like, motherfucker, vote. Well, that means I got to research who these people are. Yeah. I don't know who they are. Why can't you just have it so I just know one spot and I can just, hit that one circle and get everybody on that side? No, bitch.
Well, for some people, they can't really vote much because they have to focus on putting food on the table.
Man, people make time for what they want. They do. And it sucks. I've lived it and seen it. You know?
And there are some people that enjoy working a lot.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. There are some people that just can't, they just hate doing nothing.
Here's the thing, they would have a lot to do if they weren't forced to do something for somebody else. I don't like being somebody's bitch. I got an issue with that. I really do. If I was in the military, I'd have been dishonorably discharged. Because I wouldn't take that shit. I'd be like, you yelling in my face and all this stuff and telling me to tell you yes sir or no sir. Fuck that and fuck you. That's just me. I can't do it. I can't.
I kind of do want to find work simply because I kind of want a little bit of structure in my life again. I haven't had that since I was in high school.
Imagine doing what you love and getting paid for it.
I know.
Yeah, see, that is the only capitalist dream anyone should have. Do what you love and get paid for it. If you like doing e-feds and stuff, you know what? You should be able to do that shit on YouTube and YouTube pay your ass because they're getting gobs of money.
But there are just times where you do have to work for the greater good. I mean, we do need plumbers. We do need those to...
Wait a minute. Sure. Wait. I think you're screwing your own mentality up here. Listen, being a plumber is not some kind of work. That's somebody's passion. There are people that want to be plumbers. There are people that want to be farmers. There are people that want to be electricians. There are people that want to be carpenters. But see, everything now is you have to have a job. So you get the job doing something. They say, no, you need a real job. So what's a real job? A job that you get paid enough to make me happy that you're giving me that money. That's pretty much it. So if you're not working for someone, if you're doing what you love, and you're making money doing what you love, then you don't have a real job. You don't have a job, and you're a waste of space. That's the mentality we have been taught for generations. And so people hear about,
does that apply to business owners?
Business owners don't have a fucking job. They make money not even doing what they love. They make money hurting other people.
Well, there are some small business owners that put a lot of their money into making sure their business start up.
They put money into making sure their business start up?
Yes. I mean, from what it costs a lot to start up.
Yeah.
Even with something like starting a garden, I mean, that still takes a couple $100, and with some cases, you have to make sure that it's approved by government agencies to make sure that it's safe for people.
When I think about business, I'm thinking about what I envision is some big office area with cubicles and shit that somebody got some startup to do with some kind of new internet thing, and nobody gets anything out of it except for that business owner. Everyone else gets paid just so the business owner don't go to prison for slave wage or slave labor.
It's all business.
Well, that's the thing. We both see businesses differently. I mean, you might see it as high-rise office buildings. I see it as more of a mix from the high-rise of the office building to people who barely get paid, to owners who basically get nothing so that way they can pay for their employees and their businesses. See, we only focus on the big businesses, yet what about the small guys? What about the tiny peoples?
Business means you got to have networking of some kind. All right?
Not always.
Business. That's why it's called business. If you start a pizza business, that means you have a store. That means you are running it. That means you can't do it alone because you're going to have customers, overhead, intel, and all that just to make sure shit work properly. You're going to need some kind of help. That means you got to pay somebody. That means you got to order things. You have to run a business. Therefore, is your business helping the community? Is it helping whoever your staff are? That is the important thing. And most businesses don't give a shit about their staff. They don't give a shit about proper ingredients or anything. They just want it on the cheap. And that's what they'll do.
That also depends on where you're at.
It does. There's a place nearby us we just discovered, and I don't have any evidence because I didn't ask anything, but it said we pay our employees a livable wage. And I was like, whoa. And it said that it's on an orange card. And I was like, what? I don't have any evidence that they do or don't, but it says it, and that's good, you know? And to them, what a livable wage, you might say you get paid $15 an hour. It's like, I can't live off that. Hey, they say $15 an hour, so that's livable. You know, that's pretty much,
And you never know.
Different
I don't
things
know
are
what you're saying. I can't
different
hear you
things
way
are
over there. I
livable
don't know.
depending on the amount is what is considered livable also depends on where you're at. Because if you're living somewhere like I am, or basically in the fuck middle of nowhere, $15 an hour is like, we will be middle class. But in places like a city, it's basically like, this ain't enough.
Yeah,
That's
you're
the
right.
bigger divide.
You're accurate. Some places, $15 an hour, you can take care of a family of 5. You know, depending upon things. But yeah, I get you and I hear you. Honestly, I still think
down here in Georgia, food is so cheap that if I got myself a $15 an hour job in Georgia, I would have so much food, I would need a 3rd refrigerator.
I think honestly everyone should get paid like $22, $25 an hour. That's where I'm at, you know. And if your business can't sustain that, then $15 an hour for that business. And if you can't sustain that, then that's when you can get certain little privileges there to pay less because you want staff, but you got to keep your business going. I can see the government helping and assisting that. That's what I can see, But
honestly, minimum wage can be lower, but only for places where tips are massive. Like,
I don't think.
Oh, you'll get a $22 an hour unless the tips you make is more than $22 an hour. Then you just get paid less. Like, let's say you make about $220 every 10 hours. That's $22 an hour.
What I would do is I would remove tips. I would remove tips and pay them the same $22 to $25 an hour. Tips is bullshit. Tips are made to hurt people.
Tips are basically like mafia bribes.
If you understood the psychology of tipping, you would probably change your mind. We tip well, but if a good society, we wouldn't have to tip. The companies pay their servers roughly $2 to $2.50 an hour. Why? Because they say they make up the difference in tips. And then they guilt people into tipping, so they have this whole thing of, if you don't tip, you're a suck-ass customer. If you don't tip, then you're not a good person. They do that for so long. They've been doing that since the fucking 50s, teaching that shit. So
tipping can also work in our favor, actually.
How is giving them more of our money how's that helping?
Well, it's simple. I'll put it like this. If we don't tip the person, that means we're telling them, you sucked. You sucked at your job. The food is terrible. Or at the very least, it'll basically be, you're a bad server. That's basically what tipping mainly does in my case.
Now, here's the thing. We work in that area. Now, see, I also make sure to tell the servers, we're not stupid people. You put in the order, they cook the food. We're not tipping the cook. So if you do your job right, then, we tip you, starting off $5 usually. And that's how we do it. And the worse you are, the less you get. And if you do an outstanding job, then I try to give more than $5. That's just me. That's how I like to do it. But
we normally go by 15 to 20%.
I don't do that percent shit.
It's mostly based off of politeness, if anything else.
I don't do that. At first, I thought about doing the percent thing. I really did, and then I got that bill, and it was like, tip gratuity, 10 to 15%. we've already calculated it for you. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, $5 and some cents. And I was like, this motherfucker did $1 job. Fuck this motherfucker. I ain't giving anybody this kind of money. I was like, our server came, gave us our shit, and we didn't see that person for like 20 minutes. I'm sitting there sucking on ice because I had no fucking water. You know, had nothing, no extra napkins. None of that shit was working out. Didn't refill anything, and then come by, do you need anything? And I was like, yeah, can you get us this? Sure. Didn't see from that motherfucker again. So
then they came back. You asked the same thing. They say, oh, we'll get it. And then the end of time comes. And you still haven't gotten your food.
So I've dropped my patience level when it comes to servers. You know, we go to a place like Waffle House. Now I can make allowances for Waffle House depending upon the atmosphere there at the time. You know, is it busy? Is it like really slow? So the cook is also the server, you know, stuff like that. I make allowances. But man, if I go into a classy, expensive restaurant, and expensive meaning everything there is like $8 burgers, you know, $13 plates or some shit. The place we go to like every once in a fucking, what the fuck was that? That was a goddamn.
Oh, here's my favorite one. $50 for a steak about the size of a keyboard button.
Shit like that pissed me off too, dude. That really do. You go in there and pay $13 to $14 for a steak that can fit right in the palm of your hand.
What pays for that? I am a man. Well, I'm not fat anymore, but I am still a fat man in my heart and my guts. If I pay $50 for something, I want a ton of it.
Yes. These people, I ain't gonna lie, that's that middle class shit right there. That's when you go out and be like, yeah, we went here and ate. You know, we didn't really get full or anything. I'm like, yeah, but you gave them like a lot of money for barely any food. You know, and then people might be hearing this and say, see, this is why we got a fat nation. It's like, no, we got a fat nation because one, all the goddamn jobs that could be worked where you do active shit are gone. Or nobody wants to work them anyway. We're sedentary because of the internet, and going out and meeting people is fucking dangerous. And the internet is just as dangerous, but there's a little bit of vetting that can take place at least. You know, stuff like that. People can't make money just going places, going from job to job. Now you need a fucking degree just to answer fucking phones. People just, it's stressful. It's bullshit, and nobody wants to fix it, but they want to complain about it. That's the problem I have. And that's why we're a fat nation. And it's just fat shaming anyway, so they can go fuck themselves.
Which is weird because fat used to not be bad, but then became bad because companies said so.
Yep.
And then doctors said so because, well, they kind of make a valid point. I mean, one of my family members is essentially diabetic and can barely walk.
Damn.
In my case, I don't want that. I don't want to not walk. I like to actually move sometimes, unless I am preoccupied, which is how I've been able to talk to you this entire time.
Well, repeat that. I'm sorry, I was looking at Sidra, and then whatever you said, the memory just went away from me. That ADHD does that shit. Repeat that.
Basically, the whole reason why I consider fat to be extremely unhealthy isn't because of a health risk, but rather the chance of not being able to walk. I cannot stop walking unless I have something or someone talking to me, preoccupying me. Which is why I am able to talk to you on the computer while standing in the same place for about... What time is it? For about a while.
Yeah, it's been an hour. It's been, oh my God. It's been 2 hours and 2 minutes of this. It's a good thing I don't have to render this shit.
That's my favorite for hours.
That's crazy. I never and you know, and none of this that we're talking about makes me go, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? You know, so
That's nice.
that's nice. Because that's how it was with Nicky Fonte. I was like, what the fuck is this? But I held it together though.
You held together real good.
And that's it's all starting off with what is our mindset when it comes to impeachment, and that's what everyone's learning today. That everyone has different views on how they see things differently. At the end of the day, if we can talk to each other and learn from each other, there you go. We're one step closer to peace.
Yep. And
There's always, and if that doesn't work, there's always professional wrestling.
professional wrestling is so beautiful. Well, when it's done
Yeah.
right. But the problem is, I will save that for later. We can talk about pro wrestling or whatnot on CR Wrestling, but I want to just keep this comparative reasoning. That's
Yes.
I can talk wrestling,
Definitely.
and I will go on a tirade of rage and venom like nothing else. So, pro wrestling, that's my heart. So, I can't.
We'll literally save that for later.
Yes. And I try my best to keep those terms out of political or social or relationship or anything like that talk, because that's what comparative reasoning is catch-all topic-based conversations, you know, and there's no without limit. It's just that I would rather reserve pro wrestling for the pro wrestling channel only because I've realized people here aren't going to really get it. They aren't going to really get it. So that's why I don't talk pro wrestling.
Well, considering the fact I am on, I'm pretty sure half the people don't get me either.
They get you. They hear you. And then they might have questions. Now, this is long, so people probably... I'm not going to upload anything new for a while so people can hear this in the clips or chunks that they want, 30-minute blocks, 1-hour block, or they want to sit through the whole thing. But, you know, I figured, you know, just give them time. I might not post anything new probably until after Christmas, maybe. I don't know. You over there? Yeah, just wrap the fucking gifts. Leave me the fuck alone.
No.
She over there talking shit.
The sheep with her bow and arrow. Prime destruction.
That's as good as you can get. It does look festive over there, though. I'm gonna give you that.
It is festive.
You are happy.
Yes.
You're a happy little sheep. Oh man, I'm glad to have had this conversation with you. I'm happy. This is good. We could probably do this on smaller subjects and stuff. Normally, I'll get these conversations with Conquering Thought. It's just where he is in Florida. It just keeps, you know, tuning out. Sounding all jacked up. Yeah, super robotic.
And that's odd.
Yep. It's the thing. Man, I really had 27 seconds. I can see a shift in the nighttime, daytime thing. I don't care. I'm going to leave it as it is. Matter of fact.
Hey, maybe someday we can have ourselves a massive group chat.
We could. Yeah, we definitely could do that. And that would be fun. It really would. Damn it. Sidra, you could have done this on your phone. Wait. No, maybe you could. Maybe you've done it on your phone.
Really?
I don't know. It's possible. I don't know. We'll have to test it ourselves one day just to see how it would be on your phone. But, dude, yeah, I think we should wrap this up because it's getting to the point I'm going to have to go to the bathroom, and we got to get to Walmart or Target. Mainly Target. I really do Target. And I really did want to do start getting my Monday wrestling show started. But I got to do skits and stuff. And I did want to work on the skits while we were talking, but that would have distracted me and I wouldn't have heard anything. And I know that. So I've delayed a lot. And honestly, I know you can do this probably all night, but it bugs me that you're outside in the cold. It just bugs the shit out of me.
Well, she get on to work anyway. Because Pony Sports TV is going to have 3 different on throughout 2020.
You have 3 different what?
3 different things going on throughout 2020.
So we can talk about that on CR Wrestling too. I can interview you for that and stuff.
Yes.
I really want
Maybe
to
we can
help you.
find a perfect time for it.
We got some money here, and I really want to help you, try to improve your computer. We just don't have enough to buy you a computer. That's the problem.
If I really needed the money, I would basically just go for just giving me the entrance crap too.
You just need some memory sticks, dude. That's it.
I know. We broke.
That's why you have friends that can help, i.e. us.
I know, but
Fuck that pride.
it's not the pride.
What is it?
I don't know. That's the thing. It's telling me I must either do it on my own or ask only my family.
That's pride.
Damn.
Just
It wasn't.
there are people that you don't thoroughly know that you're okay with that want to help you do something that you love. There can't be anything wrong with that.
Yeah, but I know I will have to pay you guys back.
Why?
It's something I have to do.
We would not be asking for you to pay us back.
I would still have to do something in return.
Yeah, do your fucking show and be happy with it. That's all I ask for. That's my payment. That's how I feel like like he's doing his show and he can do other stuff on the computer and record it better. He's like fulfilling his joy. That's me. I'm like, you know what? Payback was in full at that moment.
But yeah, if anybody he feels like going on DTube or YouTube if YouTube hasn't decided to die, then Pony Sports TV is where you go.
Cool. Put a link there in the Discord chat and I can put it with the video.
Okay. Well, I actually think I got a video posted there already. I just need to find it again. Yeah. Oh, there you are.
So,
Going up.
how about this? You could see it as a Christmas gift. We can do research, help you find. You can do it. We can do it. Find the proper memory sticks and how to install it on the laptop that you have, and you can insert them and be done with it. And you'll have what you need.
Okay.
I think that would be good. Because there's nothing I can get people that I'm like, what do I get somebody and I don't know shit about them, but I hear that you have a need and your need will help you do what you love. Therefore, give you what you need so you can do what you love, and then everyone's happy.
Yeah.
I'm practically here begging this guy to help me, let me give him shit.
Yeah, I know.
And he's not accepting it.
I feel like that one parody of Dale Earnhardt during the Christmas time.
I've only been asking him for 4 months? He's like, no, it must be me. It must be me.
Or at least make my brother do it.
Yeah, make your brother do it then. Shit. Especially, he's the one that wanted you on DTube. Then damn it, get some memory sticks.
Well, actually, DTube actually Because of you, actually.
Ah, cool. You must have found my wrestling up
was
there or
not-
something.
No, it was because I was looking for alternatives.
It's because of what?
You remember the whole YouTube? Oh wait, hold on. Everybody knows about the whole YouTube issue.
Oh yeah, yeah. I did a few videos on that shit.
You want to look for the thing. I found the thing, and apparently you're already on there.
I have left that shit alone too. D2 was hard. That shit was fucking hard.
Goddamn, was it worth it?
I can't save my show twice. I can't do the MP4 and then save it as WebM, and then I'm like, that's just too much shit. I just can't. I know I'm running low on space on this computer again. I'm about to delete a whole bunch of shit. I need another memory card so I can get the stuff off, get 2019 off.
Wait, a memory stick like a USB stick or something?
Probably. What?
A memory stick like a USB stick or something?
No, memory cards, memory sticks. They're I call them sticks. They used to be called memory sticks because you could just slide them into slots on the laptop, or put them in and screw them in where they ever have to go. And they're usually really thin. Yeah, you just gotta learn how to get into your laptop, or at least open up that slot that's needed. So you can just go to Newegg or someplace and then put in your laptop serial number or whatever the fuck, and then it'll tell you all the stuff that it can use and things like that, and memory cards or memory sticks, whichever it's called, and boost the memory of your computer, and that's how that works.
Okay.
If you got storage, that's no problem, but memory and all that other stuff that needs to be boosted, because to play Fire Pro properly, you need honestly you need 8 gigabytes to run almost any and everything.
Honestly, with the computer I've been wanting to build, it can probably go up to 16.
Yeah, wanting ain't the same as doing, and until you can get the doing started, you got to get what you can, and that's right now.
Right. But for now, just stop the recording.
Yep. I mean, it's not that it's outright okay, no more politics and yada yada yada, but maybe someone could actually use what we're saying, so I was just kind of going with it. But you know what? We could stop right here.
Hey.
That's all good. So
Hey, people have learned something today. That conversation you can learn a lot more with talking to people.
exactly. And this is 2 hours and almost 16 minutes now. So I'm gonna cut it out right here. So this has been me, Cedric Kennedy, conversing with Mr. Pony, with extra host here, Sidra Owens. And you can still check her out on The Wicked Orchard. That's on YouTube. You can check out Mr. Pony on YouTube at Pony Sports TV. You can check him out on DTube. That'll be down in the description below. This has been Cedric Kennedy, host of Comparative Reasoning. Want to say thank you for listening.